Welcome to another edition of Tom's Real Food Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tom Garber, the Keto Cook, and today on Tom's Real Food Podcast, Happy New Year, everybody. Well, guess what? It's a new year. Now all the resolutions start. Everybody, whoa! I got to drop some weight. I'm too fat, or I got to get back to exercising, or I'm feeling like crap. Everybody does it every year. I've done it in the past. So what I'm here to tell you right now is that if past year, if you had, let's say, overindulged a little bit and, had a little bit too much pasta, too much potatoes or whatever, now's the time to change things up. Okay. The holiday eating, I did it. I got some stuff I got to tell you that I said I was going to bring up, that I was carb cycling, and I'm going to give you the reason why in a little bit. But here's the problem: nobody tells you the risks that you have from eating this stuff long term. Because you know what? Is there a long term effect? Yeah, well, um, I do believe there is. I'm finding out now the older I get. And the reason why I started doing keto, the keto lifestyle, I don't call it a diet. That's too much pressure. That's too much stress you put on yourself. As far as, guess what? I can't have that because I'm trying to lose weight. And, it's everybody's fault but your own. You know what I mean? You are responsible for what you put up here in your yapper here. So the whole idea is to get the fundamentals down to where you understand what is going on. Okay. And the whole idea is understanding what it is. And I've told this before to you, and I'm speaking now to anybody new out there who is going to be joining Tom's Real Food Podcast for the first time, and also sliding over to see the videos that I have. I'm close to 1,000 videos on YouTube about what I eat and how I eat and different ways I did things. And I do clean keto eating. Nothing from a box. No, anything says keto, I run the other way. It's all straight up clean whole foods. Okay. And that's basically what I do. But the problem is that we are completely sugar addicted. I mean, there's no way around it. Just stop and think for a minute. Okay. Think about what you eat for the day. If you have high carbohydrates, that is turning into sugar. Okay. When I say sugar, I mean glucose. All right. And the whole idea with a ketogenic lifestyle is to get away from the glucose, living off just glucose, and introducing ketosis to our body. Now, our body produces both hormones. I mean, glucose is there. We produce that. Okay. Also, we produce ketones, but we don't produce ketones as often as we do glucose with the standard American diet. SAD, think about it. SAD, standard American diet. It is because of way too much sugar. So, how do we find out about how much sugars and everything? Well, you got to be a label reader. You got to start understanding, and it's a learning curve that has great results. This works. I'm telling you, it works because it worked for me. Now, getting a little bit into why I was carb cycling and stuff. Now, I am trying to. I could have hurt myself pretty much, and I can feel the results of what I did from November. Okay, I started having some stomach issues as far as not feeling good, not processing foods right, or whatever, and it was because my glucose wasn't going down. Now, I did, like everybody is now running towards Ozempic or that Wegovy, whatever it is, Wegovy, and all this stuff, all these different shakes that are out there that are keto friendly, slow down your processing to make you not hungry. That's all it does. All right. Well, I am one of the few that right now that are having issues with that. Now, I was on that for almost a little over a year and a half, I think. So I started out with the lowest dose. I was on a drug called Trulicity. Now, did it work? Well, I had mixed emotions with it because just on keto alone, it worked. But then all of a sudden, something happened to where my sugar was going back up again. Now that could have been a couple of different things that made it go that way. But um, talking to the doctor, she put me on worried about cholesterol. Now that's another thing you're going to hear from your doctor if you go back and forth doing this lifestyle, either keto or carnivore or ketovore, or just eating low carb in general, very low carb, and eating a um, high fat, low carb diet will raise your cholesterol. Okay. But why does it raise it? Well, because they're testing you against the standard American diet intake of high carbohydrates. So that's how they did it. The culprit was always cholesterol. Right? They had to pin something on something in your body, and it was caused from high cholesterol. But your body makes cholesterol. Your brain runs off of cholesterol. All right. It has a lot of functions in your body that we need cholesterol. Now they're saying added cholesterol is not good, and that's what's causing the problem. No, what's causing the problem is adding cholesterol and high carbohydrates, and everything turns to fat. That's where the problem lies, but they don't want to tell you that. And when I say they, I'm not a conspiracy thinking person about this, but there is something going on, and we're going to see soon enough if things are going to start changing. The lifestyle that we have is ridiculous as far as the foods that we eat. I mean, now how much food can you put into your system that's not good for you that people keep saying that is good for you? So, for instance, right here, fast foods. That's what the world lives on right here. I mean, every block, every corner, there's a fast food restaurant. Okay, with not so good ingredients. All right, so just stop and think about that for a minute. All right, have a hamburger now, just a burger, the onions, tomatoes, and the lettuce on there, and a little bit of that sauce is okay. It's not bad. You get, but top that bun on there, three pieces of bread on there. All right, finish it off with some French fries and a sugary drink. Even if you have a diet sugary drink, okay, it's still not, that's even worse than the regular drink. That's my thinking. That's how I came to start this whole thing in the beginning, and I'm going on my 5th year. So does it work? You're damn right it does. But the doctors are afraid to tell you that because you know what? Then they can't give you medications. They can't give you this Trulicity, or they can't give you this Ozempic and stuff like that because in their eyes, that's the better way. Eat more carbs, more legumes, more beans, more vegetables and stuff like that. But that stuff is not good if you are type 2 diabetic. That's problem number 2. Okay. So when you hear somebody say, I went to the doctor and they told me I'm pre-diabetic, that's a problem. Okay. Why is they telling you that you're pre-diabetic? When I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes is when I had bladder cancer. The doctor said there is no such thing as pre-diabetic, or either you are or you aren't. Okay. If your blood sugar is consistent, okay, high, which they consider a certain number, okay, I believe back then it was uh, over 140 every day. Okay, you're type 2 diabetic. No pre whatsoever. What's the difference between either I'm going to eat a pre dinner and then have dinner, it don't make sense. So in that way, in that lingo that they tell you, then they start you with the medications. That's the whistle at the starting line to start getting put on medications. So the bad part about it is how many people believe in what they say. Number one, um, I always say you can't get help, or you can't get your health back in order again with a 10 or a 15-minute doctor visit. Okay, go get blood work. Look, your cholesterol's high, or your blood pressure. Oh, look, you need to get on a pill because your blood pressure is very high, and this and that. So to me, it's the numbers. The numbers game is a snapshot in time. I can do my finger, prick my finger, and it could be 142. All right. A couple of minutes later, prick another finger, and it might be 132. That's how the numbers fluctuate. Same thing with blood pressure. Okay. I can walk up and down the hallway, sit down. They do my blood pressure. Oh, God, it's high. Let it sit there, rest a minute. Okay. Boom. Oh, okay. You're good. That seems pretty good. That's not a way of doing it. It's right here what you're doing up here. What you eat, what we put in our face is, I mean, it is completely crazy. So basically, what I've been fighting for now, um, my doctor, we sort of worked it out where, well, I'm a little concerned about your LDL, okay, not so much your cholesterol, because they keep moving the goalpost, and we went over this before, but I'm talking to the newer people that are out there now. So you get a prescription for a medication, basically start off with metformin, and then it gradually moves up. All right. I had actually had my doctor tell me that, you know what, your blood sugar is so high, maybe we should put you on insulin. Well, hold on a minute. Uh, 3 months ago, you told me that I was insulin resistant, and I had my insulin checked. So there's a controversy about that. Now, high insulin and being insulin resistant can cause heart problems, all kinds of problems because your insulin is not working. It's not putting the components in the right spot. It's not putting the sugar in the right spot. It's not putting the carbohydrates in the right spot. Not putting fat in the right spot. So trying to work this out with your doctor is very hard, and especially when I turned around and I said, "Here, you know who you're talking to? You're talking to the keto cook." Okay, we both started laughing, but she said, "No, that has some good values to it, and this and that." And I said, "What are you talking about? Good values?" I tried following your lead, okay, as far as sending me to an endocrinologist, a dietitian. Okay, a dietitian should have been smacked because I mean, what they were telling me to eat was ridiculous. Okay, and you see right there. I mean, that's typical right there. An orange juice or an orange, some kind of fruit. You need fruits and vegetables, legumes and stuff like that. I'm type 2 diabetic. What are you trying to kill me? It just don't make sense. It just don't make sense whatsoever. All right, so I was carb cycling because I wanted to prove a point uh, that I knew the holidays were coming, and I said this is a good time just to see if you can have a little bit at a time. If I can have one or two slices of bread, if I can have a sweet potato, all right, French fries, a little bit one time. You've been doing this for so long. One time is not going to hurt you. Also, coffee. This was the hardest thing for me to do. Um, I cut out coffee. All right? I just have tea in the morning, whether the caffeine is different or not. What a big swing! What a big difference! And then here is one side of it. Okay, 8 ounces of coffee without anything in it. Okay, is 6 grams of carbohydrates. I was having a glass like this, and I said this 100 times before. That's 16 ounces. Okay, so that's 12 carbs right there. Okay, times 3 or 4 cups. Totally blew me out of the water, and I could not figure out for the life of me what I was doing wrong because I eat very clean. I'll have a couple of scrambled eggs around lunchtime, and then I'll have a dinner, whatever I have, and nothing. But my sugar was still going up, and it's how your body adjusts is what I'm trying to explain to my doctor. I'm true to myself. I will never lie to anybody about there just to get subscribers or views or anything like that. That's not where I'm at. It would be nice, but in the same realm here, I am trying to explain that your body adjusts. It really does. Okay. Uh, if there's a carbohydrate in it, it'll find it. Okay, and it'll go from there. So there is no way that you totally get away from carbohydrates because basically everything has carbs in it. Does your body need carbs? No. Okay. Um, but what happens is all of a sudden your body starts producing more glucose. I was in ketosis for a long, long, long time. That fell by the wayside, but then I felt like I was balanced. Okay. Using enough glucose also kick in with ketosis and going back and forth. Now, people will say, well, that's misinformation. And, well, it's not misinformation because it's me. It's exactly what I am doing and how I was doing it. So, why was I carb cycling? I was carb cycling because their set way of doing things. All right. So they put me on this Genfibrocil. Okay, it's for high triglycerides. All right. Now I've had high triglycerides all my life. Matter of fact, my triglycerides were off the charts at one point, and they couldn't get over how or why. So what I did was I started keto, and they dropped. They dropped quite a bit. You're supposed to be like 150 or lower. The lowest I could get mine was 230 or something like that. And the doctor, my previous doctor, said, yes, you're mostly, it's more hereditary than anything else, and I don't think there's too much we can do about that. All right. So now trying to get through to them that I'm also a type 2 diabetic. All right. And a lot of aches and pains. Inflammation was off the charts. So what I started doing was from Thanksgiving, I started a little bit of bread, just easy, easing into it. Had some ice cream, some cake, and a little cookie, some pie, but that really didn't affect me too much. Okay, more than the bread. Some sweet potatoes. I had potatoes, pasta. I made homemade pasta and stuff like that. And it started gradually picking up to the point where I feel like crap. Okay. My knees are bothering me again, especially when I just turned 70. So, you're thinking it's psychologically is, oh, God, I'm getting old. I can't move. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's what you put up here. It's what you put in your mouth. What you eat is a big factor. And I think my point is I'm supposed to get blood work, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it because they'll go crazy with how much everything jumped. And I know it jumped. All right. So the last talk we had, she said, well, maybe, she said, I've heard of, um, what do you call it? I've heard of keto and you could start doing the Mediterranean diet. And I said, well, you know what? Been there, done that. All right. That's not good. I mean, it's not good for me as far as a type 2 diabetic. Just not there. I'm sorry, but it's just not there. I mean, and you can look at some of the stuff, and I quiver sometimes just looking at it. First of all, Mediterranean diet will work if you don't have type 2 diabetes. It also will work because guess what? There's no desserts involved. There's no breads or anything else like that. Nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, and different vegetables and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I mean, if that's you're accustomed to doing that or eating that way, yeah, it'll work. I mean, just about anything will work if you stick to it enough, or if you're looking for what you want to do. That does not work for me because I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I try to keep getting that through my doctor's head. Now, what to eat? Well, I mean, I try to, like I said, try to keep it as clean as possible. Uh, I know myself, snacks are a big to do, especially for somebody who's overweight or is a high carb, sugary food addicted person. Okay, like I was. Uh, that was the snacks were furious, fast and furious. Chips and whatever, and this and that. And nuts. They tell you to eat nuts, but I'm going to tell you something. You got to be very careful with eating nuts because, like I said, almonds. They tell you, Doctor Cardiologist says, eat a handful of almonds. All right, there's about 20 to 22 almonds in a handful, in a man's handful, to eat, and it's good for your heart to a point. Okay. When people use almond flour, especially on the keto lifestyle, thinking that they're doing themselves good, in a cup of almond flour, okay, that's just crushed almonds. That's basically all it is. Okay. There is close to 99 to 102 almonds in there. Okay. Anything over 25, I think, is toxic to your health. I know if you, for instance, I know if I eat a lot of them in the past, I start feeling sick to my stomach or whatever. That also plays with your digestive system completely. So what do? I turn around and I'll get hard cheeses. Now there's a new thing out with pecorino cheese, which is very good. It's an odd chain triglyceride that is. They're saying it's working. It's helping people with type 2 diabetes, helping people with insulin resistance, and really good. I've been using it quite a bit, but here's the problem: you can't use that, okay, and sit down with a bag of chips and thinking that you're doing yourself good. The combinations are wrong, and that's where everybody else goes wrong with doing these different types of combinations to to think they're helping themselves and they're not getting no pushback from the doctor or the doctor telling them exactly what to eat and how to eat it. Okay, um, my biggest thing is um, we need to stay away from the culprit. Okay, and the culprit is, like everybody knows, right back to this again. Okay, this is the problem. The breads, the cakes, the donuts, all the stuff that tastes really good. That's the problem. All right. So when you say New Year's resolution, I'm gonna stick to it this year. Okay, that's the stuff you got to stay away from. Okay, and believe it or not, the stuff that we need to be eating, all right, would be, um, just normal, like what I call normal food now, would be, piece of nice cut of beef, all right, pork chops, ribs, all easy stuff to make, okay, and you can put alongside of a vegetable. You can put alongside of broccoli. I mean, there's just a ton of different things that you can eat. I mean, it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take long to figure out exactly where you want to go with this because, and also cook for yourself. Learn to cook things, things that you can have. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to put up another slide here, but I'm going to make sure that it is um, muted because of music. I'll get hammered from it. So, I mean, here you go. Nice cut of beef. All right, butter. Don't be afraid of butter. I use butter, olive oil, and avocado oil. I don't use virgin olive oil. I use virgin olive oil on my salads and stuff like that. But I cook with straight, regular, everyday olive oil, okay, and avocado oil. I make my own mayonnaise with one egg, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, salt, okay, and the, avocado oil, cup of avocado oil, blend it up, and there you have it. But I mean, simple ways of eating is basically the best way. And make sure, okay, that you can start off with nice cut of beef would be great. All right. You can also have ribs. You can have chicken. I mean, there's a ton of different different types of foods that you can wind up eating, and there again, oils. The big thing right now they're talking about is seed oils. So you got to be careful with using seed oils and stuff like that. If you don't use it every day, if you don't eat it every day, you'll be okay. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, if you go have a McDonald's, once or twice a month and have a little bit of fries, whatever, I don't think it'll affect you. The scare tactics that they use is ridiculous. Recalled foods, and we went over this last time. There again, I'm speaking to new subscribers and stuff. The recalls to me are money makers. That's all they are. If you want to make money, you scare the hell out of somebody not to buy it, but buy this product, and that's basically what it's all about. So eat clean. Don't put the pressure on yourself as far as, hey, you know what? I want to try this diet, but in the same time, I want to make sure um, that I can have this and have that. Now, to hell with it, I'm not going to do it. No, you want to stick to your guns. Eat as clean as possible. If you don't have type 2 diabetes, you can vary a little bit. If you eat a potato, you can have a half potato. Watch your vegetables. Lay off the starch. There's a lot to do. We're going to have a busy year this year. I'm gonna try to work it out to have a live cook and see how I can do this to answer questions live on here. But I got a new platform and it seems to be working out pretty good. And listen, I'm going to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for last year for the subscribers that I got, all the listeners. I really do appreciate it. And hey, let's get back to health a little bit, but let's do it smart. Don't put no pressure on it. No stress. The less stress, the better off you're going to do with it. And if you think you're going to be able to sit on the couch and eat a pork chop and think you're going to be all right. Now you got to get up and move. So, all right. Now, with that said, it's time to hit the trail, and I really do appreciate it. So, we will see you next time on Tom Garber, the Keto Cook, and also Tom's Real Food Podcast. Thanks, everybody.